Welcome back. February 21st, National Sticky Bun Day. Who don't like some sticky buns? Today's going to be a fun one. Never did sticky buns before. I've done cinnamon rolls before, but probably the store-bought ones. I don't even think I've ever done like from scratch on me. Well, these sticky buns we're doing from scratch, okay? So, should be kind of fun, interesting project to do. I'm assuming it's kind of like a cinnamon roll, except you don't have that icing over the top. This one has more of like a caramelly pecan kind of crusty baked thing on them. So we're gonna have a good time with this one today. Alrighty, let's take a look at what we need for the dough part of it first and start that off, because this is one of those projects too. Don't turn your oven on right away. This is one of the ones where we're going to have to, since we're doing it from scratch, we're going to have to make our dough first, and then we got to leave it for like an hour and a half to rise and double, then you got to roll it, then you make your rolls that you're going to cut, then you let it rise again. Like, there's a couple processes to this. This is one of those long ones that are going to take you a couple hours to do. You're not going to do this in 10 minutes. So plan ahead, okay? But let's start with our dough. We'll be right back. Okay, so here's what you need to make your dough today. We need a package of dry yeast, 3/4 cups of whole milk, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of water warmed up between 110 and 115 degrees, no more, no less, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 egg, a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, melted or half a stick, and 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, so first thing we want to do is take a teaspoon of our sugar, put that in a bowl, just I'm getting ahead of myself here, and take that warm water that we need, okay? Just want to quickly stir the sugar just to get that going, and then take your packet of yeast and sprinkle that on the top, okay? And just leave that off to the side for about 5 minutes or so. That's going to activate the yeast and it's going to start fizzing up and stuff. Okay, on to the next. Okay, and then we're going to get out our handy dandy KitchenAid mixer with the bread hook. Hopefully you still have your bread hook. Okay, we're going to add to our mixer 1 egg, our milk, our whole milk, okay, salt, the rest of your sugar, and the melted butter. Okay, and we're just going to mix that around. Okay, and then to the egg mixture, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to add about a cup or 2 of our flour. We don't want to dump it all in at once, so we're just going to add a little bit at a time, okay? So about 2 cups of the flour. Okay, and then as you can see, our yeast has foamed up. It's ready to go. We're going to add that to our dough also, okay? Okay, and then little by little we just keep adding the rest of our flour. A little bit at a time till it's all in. I'm just picking up any little last crumbs of dough here on the bottom of this bowl, sticking them to it, okay? And then what you're going to do is just make a nice dough ball out of this. I hope it's not too dry. Looks a little dry, but maybe it just needs to be kneaded a little more. We all need to be a little kneaded, don't we? I know these stupid pun jokes that we keep doing in these videos must be driving you all crazy. But anyway, okay. So we have our dough here. And what you're going to do is take a big glass bowl and you're going to grease it on the inside with a little vegetable oil. Just take a pastry brush or something and just brush some oil in there. Okay, I'm going to make a nice dough ball here. We're going to put that right into our greased bowl. We're going to cover this with a kitchen towel. And we're going to just put it in a warm place and let it sit for a little bit, for about an hour, hour and a half. We want it to rise and blow up. Okay, so we'll see in a little while. This is the waiting part of the game here today. Okay, so find something to do. Go clean out your spice rack. That's what I'm going to do now. Alrighty, see you in a little bit. Okay, for the glaze, we need a half a cup of unsalted butter, or 1 stick, a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup, a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 6 ounces of chopped pecans. Okay, so while our dough is just about ready to be rolled, it's risen up. We've had it sitting there for about an hour and a half or so, so it's almost ready to be rolled out. But we're going to start making our sauce, our glaze. We're just going to go to a medium heat. What we're going to add into our sauce pot here is our stick of butter, unsalted butter. Okay. Put that right in there. We're also going to add our heavy cream, our corn syrup, and our brown sugar. Now the whole idea is just to get everything to melt down. We just want to melt our sugar down. We're not cooking this or anything. Melt our sugar down. As soon as we get to that point, we'll stir in last our vanilla and our pecans, okay? Or pecans, whichever you prefer. Guess it depends on where you live. Alrighty, so we're going to melt this down into our sauce and we'll be back. Our sauce has melted down, okay? So we're just going to stir in our vanilla and our pecans, okay? That sauce is ready to go. Okay, so let's start rolling out our dough and get this show on the road. Okay, so there's our dough. We floured our work surface here. Okay, take our dough out. I'm just gonna knead it a little bit. I don't know, I'm still thinking this dough is kind of dry, but because it's not really meshing together here. Maybe it's too dry. Well, we're going to find out when we roll this thing, okay? Which is what we're going to do right now. So let's hope that this all rolls out. So we have our dough all rolled out here. What I'm taking now is 1/3 cup of melted butter, okay? And we're just going to pour that right on the top of our dough here. And we're just going to kind of smooth it out as evenly as possible along the whole bottom of this crust here, okay? Or this dough. It's not really a crust because we're not putting it in anything. Okay, so we're just going to spread that melted butter around, because who don't love melted butter? Even a lobster loves melted butter. Alright, so there's our melted butter. And now, what I have here is just a mix of brown sugar, regular sugar, and cinnamon. have a half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of regular sugar, and about a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon. Okay, and I'm just mixing that all together, and that's going to go right down on top of our buttered dough here to make our cinnamon filling. Okay, so all you're going to do is just sprinkle this right on top of the butter. Okay, you want to leave a little bit of a lip around the side, okay? Just so when you roll it, you have something to attach it to, you know? You'll see what I mean. So we're just going to, as evenly as possible, spread that out. Okay, and then once you have that, the last thing we're going to do is just add another 6 ounces of chopped pecans. So it's almost like we're making a pecan roll here, but sticky. Because that is today's project, is sticky buns. Okay, so there is our finished filled roll. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take one side of it here and just kind of fold it over like so. Just to get it started, you want to kind of evenly get it going here, and then all we're going to do is roll. Okay. Just be as careful as you can. Try to do it as neatly and evenly as you can. Okay, and as tightly as you can. It's a little hard with the nuts, but you get the hang of it. Okay. Try to make sure all your stuff stays. That's why you gotta try to roll it tight, because you want to make sure your stuff doesn't come out the sides. Okay? Just like that. And there is our completed roll. Okay? Now we're going to slice this, but we got to get our pan ready first. Be right back. We're going to heavily spray our pan here, especially the sides, because we don't want it to stick all over the place, okay? And then once you have it sprayed, we're going to take that caramel sticky mixture that we made in the pot here, and we're going to pour that along the bottom. Okay? So just put that all right in there. And then what we're going to do is try to evenly, I'm going to start in the middle here, is try to evenly make, you know, the same size rolls. You don't want big ones and skinny ones, whatever. You want to try to make it as even as possible. So what you do is you cut it in half, and then you cut the halves in half, and then you cut those halves in half. You just keep having it, because that's going to give you, you know, the uniform pieces. Okay? Okay, and there we have our rolls. Okay, so what you're going to do is just put them into this pan. Give them a little room. Just lay them out in our pan here. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, okay, turn on my oven now and get started. Not yet. We're going to let this sit out for about another hour, just to we're going to cover it and let these blow up just a little bit more, because they should rise again, I'm hoping. And then we're going to bake them. All right, so you can see our rolls blew up again, which is nice, what we want. Okay, our oven's been preheating, 350, for about 10-15 minutes. Now what you're going to do is just lightly cover the top of this, put it in our 350 oven for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to take the cover off, and for the last 10 minutes bake it uncovered. Alrighty, see you in a half hour. Okay, so we score the sides. We make sure it's not sticking anywhere, which it's not. Hopefully it's not sticking on the bottom either. We're going to take this cookie sheet, we're going to put it over the top, and we're going to invert this whole thing. Okay? Make sure it's still hot, so you want to make sure you got a good grip on it. Okay? Flip it over. Now hopefully it all came out in one piece. So, let's see. So I'm gonna pry it up there. Oh yeah, look at that. Holy cow. Now that's some sticky buns. Let me get you a close-up of that thing. Look at that. I mean, all the glaze and the nuts and everything are all on the, which were on the bottom, is now on the top. So we're just gonna pull one of these off when it's hot like it is. Let's give it a taste test right away. Okay, look at that, peels right off of there. All right, so only because it's hot, so a nice little bit of whipped cream will work good. All right, let's try this. Never made a sticky bun before, but look how the glaze on it and everything. Hot. That was a really good sticky bun. It tastes like those, if you've ever had those pecan pinwheel twirl things, but hot. Lots of pecans all through it. Really well done. I mean, it's great out of the oven because it's hot and squishy and, you know, and fresh. Now, when we put these away, obviously we'll refrigerate them once they cool down completely. And then probably the best thing to do when you're going to have one, like if you're going to have one in the morning for breakfast or something with your coffee, would be to microwave it for, you know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, just to get it hot again and steamy, because that's the way you want it, when it's nice and moist and soft, and, you know, it's perfect. Alrighty? National Sticky Bun Day. Get sticky, everybody. See you tomorrow.